So I got something to say. Now, I already made a video about one of the worst things.
Baby, don't play with it. Baby, don't play with it.
One of the worst situations that you could find yourself in. But I wanna add on to that. I feel like this is gonna resonate more for women than anything. I guess it could apply to men too, but I feel like this is gonna be more towards the women. Another one of the worst situations that you can find yourself in is in a connection with somebody that's down low. Yes, a DL man. That is one of the worst situations you can find yourself in. And the reason why that's one of the worst situations that you can find yourself in is because, you know how we like to say we want somebody that's honest, we want somebody that's loyal, we want somebody that's compassionate, blase, blase. First of all, the connection is already a violation because it's not honest. If you're a man that is down low, and what it means to be down low, as we all know, is a man that's essentially still in the closet about his sexuality. A man that is not honest about his sexuality, not even not being honest, but like just not being truly himself, his true authentic self. And a lot of times, down low men, they really be having this inner turmoil. They have this inner battle with themselves when it comes to their sexuality. It's like they want to be into women because they feel as if like that's the way nature is intended to be. That's how, that's how it's supposed to be. To be with a man and to be open about it is something that a lot of men are very ashamed about. It's because of their ego and their pride, especially if the man is very egotistic. Their ego is not going to allow them to be honest about what it is that they're actually interested in. So they're going to probably go the rest of their life. Who knows? They're going to go a period of their life or their whole life carrying this false identity that they're into women when really they're not. And the real sad part about it, but this is kind of what makes the whole situation worse when it comes to being in a connection with a DL man, is the fact that, yes, they're trying to put on this front that they're really into women. But just like I said in the previous video, it's worse to be in a situation with somebody who hates you. Well, it's double that when it's a DL man who hates you. And the main reason why he hates you, it really don't have nothing to do with you. It really has something more to do with his relationship with his mother. If his relationship with his mother is not healthy, if he can't stand his mother, if he's severely wounded with a mother wound, you're going to pay for whatever his mother did to him. So that's even worse. Like that's more fire to the pit. You're in a connection with a DL man, but you're in a connection with a DL man who can't stand you, or just pure point blank just hate women because of their mother. Because of their mother. Let me tell y'all some of my tea. But it ain't the information ain't juicy enough if I don't give you some of my tea. So there was this guy that I was like building a friendship with. It was like dating, but one of the biggest things that I live by is you gotta be my friend before you're my man. Like, I have to be able to build a friendship with you. That's very important. And he knew that. This is the same guy I've been talking about. He performed so well. Performed so well. So he knew that. So that's why it was such a vibe. Like, he was like a really good friend, and maybe it should just stay at that level. It should not have gone past that. He talked a lot about his family. He talked a lot about his friends. He really talked a lot about his family. Like, he came off very family oriented. Like, him and his family was just so close. Blase, blase. Now when it came to him talking about his friends, he was the type of guy that had like a lot of male friends. And he was this guy that seemed super popular when he was in high school. He played sports. He was a part of this like fraternity when he got to college. And it didn't really hit me. It didn't really come to me until he started talking about stories back when he was in college. He had like some gay boys in his fraternity. And when he would share some of the stories, it always felt like, I'm talking about when he shared like some of the stories that was pertaining to the gay boys in his part of his fraternity, it always felt like he was like missing parts of the story. Like he wasn't sharing parts of the story. So I would just be like, okay. Now, mind you, this is something that's never really crossed my mind. There's not one guy I've talked to. Mind you, I ain't talked to a lot of men, but I've talked to enough to be this season. I've never got an inclination that a man could possibly be into other men. Never crossed my mind until this one guy. So from the stories he would tell me, I would just be, the subtle thought started to creep up on me, the subtleness. And then like he told me how his siblings thought he was gay. They thought he was they thought he was he had a little fruit in his boot. That's what he said. They thought I had a little fruit in my boot. When he said that, that's when I was like. Then I would see, because another thing that's very important to me when it comes to dating people is seeing how they treat other people. I would see whether we was watching something, because there'll be times like he would let me like pick a movie or something for us to watch, and he would always, I pick the weirdest stuff to watch. It don't matter. And let's say like in the movie, it's like two gay dudes or something. He would like be over to talk about it. And I learned from somebody else when they shared a story about how he found out how him and his homeboys found out when his homeboys was into men. One of the things he shared with me was, and he was like a dude, like he was a dude. He don't play that. He was a dude. This is when I was working at Jose Banks, and we found out about this story through our FedEx guy. And he was just telling us like, yeah, a dude is into men when they get super defensive about gay stuff. Like when they get super defensive about seeing another dude with another dude, whether like they get super defensive about it, super defensive. So when we would watch movies and when we would be out in public and he would see like two gay dudes, he would just get to talking shit about them. Like, that was something that stayed in my mind. And I started like, that's not real. I was just like, so it really started to come to me. And I was just like, so my intuition really started like, my intuition really started nudging at me. And I remember I went to a friend about it, and we was at the gym, and we was on the Stairmaster, and I was telling her, and I was just like, all out of breath and everything. I was just like, I don't know, but I am getting this very weird feeling that I think he might be gay. And she thought it was so funny. Like, she's like, what can make you think that? And I didn't want to like go in full detail about, just the experience I've had with him thus far and the things that's kind of led to my intuition telling me. But I was just like, something don't seem right. Like, I got this feeling something don't seem right. Oh, and then another thing too, there was one time I was over at his place, and he had one of his friends / coworkers come over to hang out with us. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. His friend comes over, this white guy, and we were playing, what were we playing? We were playing cards, we was playing something, we was playing games. And, we break out into conversation. Now, it's mostly me and his friend talking. His friend was like very philosophical, so we was talking about mostly that, beliefs and things of that nature. I look over to him, he's all quiet. He started like the energy from him started to feel weird. That's the best way I could put it. It just was weird. His friend mentioned something regarding, what was it? It was something philosophical, that's all I know. But his friend mentioned something like that, and then he was like, yeah, his dad believed otherwise, blase. Fast forward, his friend ends up leaving, and his energy kind of goes back to normal in a way. But then he's telling me how, I was like, what? Like, ouch. Like, good. And he was pretty much saying like, oh, he was feeling some kind of way because his friend, whatever his friend mentioned regarding some philosophical beliefs, and bringing up his dad, because his dad had passed away like 2 years ago before he met me, I guess. But he was feeling some way about whatever his friend had said and how he brought up his dad beliefs and whatever. And I was just like, oh, okay. Fast forward like a couple days later, I'm hanging out at his place, and he decides to pick a fight with me, pick an argument with me. And the argument that he decides to pick with me, he brings up when his friend was over, he was like, yeah, because you're sitting here flirting with my friends. Well, excuse the fuck out of me, because from what I understood, you was over there acting all fucking weird and shit because you didn't like that your friend was talking about certain things that made you uncomfortable. But now you want to sit here and be like, you was feeling some way because you felt like I was flirting with him. Now, mind y'all, I'm a very charismatic individual. So one thing I do know about myself is that like when I'm engaging, when I'm interacting with people, it can come off like I'm flirting, but I'm not. I'm really just being cordial. I'm being friendly with the dude. Like, the dude was cool. I didn't even find him attractive like that. So that's like another thing that's on my mind. That's just like, it just had me thinking, especially when my intuition started to like really like nudge at me like, this nigga gay. My mind went to thinking, because I'm an overthinker, my mind went to thinking like, oh, you tried to flip the script on me because maybe your ass like your homeboy, and you again trying to put up this facade, trying to keep up this facade that you're not into men. Like, huh? And so you want to accuse me of flirting with the dude when really you the one that's over there that got feelings for him? Maybe his friend don't know he got feelings for him. I don't freaking know. I don't know the whole backstory because I ain't really trying to dig that deep into his history with some of his homeboys. Like I said, some of the stories that he was telling me about his experience back in college and this, that, and the third, it always felt like he was leaving information out. Like he would leave parts of the story out that he didn't want to share. Especially that one story where he told me they was at a party, him and his frat bros was at a party, and like one of his gay frat bros, he would leave information out, and I'll be sitting over there kind of like dumbfounded because I know like the story's not finished, but like he don't want to finish the story, or he don't want to add the season and add the salt and pepper to the story. He just give me a bland ass story and expect me to just eat that shit up. Okay, yeah, and mind you, now this guy wasn't even like my type, but I was like really experimenting at this point. I was just like, because people say don't date your type, don't date your type. So at this point, I'm looking just like experimenting. So he wasn't really, like, he was handsome, he was very intellectual, very smart. Ain't no dude I ever dated was not handsome, I'll tell you that. But other than that, like he just wasn't my type. Like it took me a minute to actually like give him a chance because I was really like pushing him off for a minute. Like I was not worried about this dude at all. Like I was really just like. Okay, like I was really just pushing him off. But then just one day we really fell into a deep conversation, and I was just like, let me see what we do about. But yeah, I just told her like I don't know, something just I'm just getting this feeling, I have this weird feeling. Well, the thing about me is I kind of like suppressed that feeling because like being with him, it didn't really give off that vibe that he was like gay like that. There was a time when, and I'm not gonna go too detailed into this now, like y'all need to stay out your business, stay my business a little bit. But there was just a time we spent some time together, and he said some very weird shit. He said some very weird shit. He said some shit that I don't think any straight man would ever say. And that really, like, set me back. So, look, and then on that, but dude started acting even more weird. Like, I started seeing red flags. So, by that time, yeah, by this time, red flags was popping up, not just in regards to him being DL, but like I said, be mindful of people that don't like you, be mindful of people that hate you, all other stuff, his insecurity, all other stuff. He just really started to show his true colors. So, by that time, I'm already, like, emotionally detaching, which I didn't fully emotionally attach to begin with, because I was already in a phase where I was mastering detachment. So, it didn't take me that long to, like, pull back. Like, I started to really pull my energy back, like, to the point where I stopped spending time with him and started spending more time with myself. That made him even more upset, because I was coming off super selfish. I didn't care. But I was like, you want some weird shit. Like, something's off. This ain't it. Now, let's fast forward. Fast forward. I'm off the connection. We're done. Not talking to him anymore. Block everything. Done. I made a TikTok about this. I had a dream. Now, if y'all don't know this, but a lot of times when my intuition is telling me something, my dream is going to confirm whatever my intuition was telling me. And a lot of times it's very disturbing, because it's just very disturbing. But this dream was very disturbing. This dream was like, bitch, I tried to tell you, so now I'm gonna let you see. I was like, bro, what the heck? I told my best friend about it. I was like, I don't want to see no shit like that again. Like, mind you, I'm not against gays. I'm not against the LGBTQ community. I love y'all. I don't care for that stuff. I'm just not into that. Okay, I'm very certain within myself that, you know, I'm straight. I like men. Okay, but I don't have an issue with other gay people. You know, same-sex couples, marriages, and all that good stuff. Don't mind it. It don't bother me at all. But this dream was so disturbing and so vivid. But I woke up like, what the fuck? But then I was like, I knew it. The word, and I think God called that relationship to end. Like I thank God so much for coming through. Because Lord have mercy. But I knew it. And I think that's another reason why dude was the way he was. Like, why he was like so emotionally unstable. Like I'm telling you, I already told y'all, this dude was the closest to the devil in the motherfucking flesh. I think that this is the reason why this is one of the reasons. In addition to him still being wounded and, you know, ain't healed from stuff that he experienced, whatever. But this was one of the demons that he was fighting. He was fighting his own sexuality. Like, I mean, dude was crashing out like almost every other day. It was ridiculous. He was fighting so many demons that ain't have nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me at all. And one of the demons that was kicking his ass was his own sexuality. And so it's just like, if you like men, you like men. We in a new day and age, baby. This ain't back in the days where a lot of people had to, you know, they had to stay in the closet because they would get killed or something if people found out. This is the 21st. Baby, this is 2026. This is a new day and age, baby. If you don't just come out, just be yourself. What Brandon Matt said, boy, just be yourself. If they don't like when you be yourself, fuck them. Like, just be yourself. Like, this is crazy. And not only that, but like, when you're really fighting demons and stuff like this, and you're suppressing or oppressing whatever emotions, truths about yourself, you can really get sick. You can end up sick. It can take a toll on you physically. Literally. Yeah, that experience was something else. That experience was something freaking else, man. Something else. So if you start getting inclinations, your intuition trying to tell you that something's off about this man, they being weird, they super defensive when they see other men who are comfortable with their sexuality, comfortable being gay, the man is down low, and you need to get the fuck out of Dodge ASAP.